Oops. Okay. I'm going to share my screen while we're doing this too, though. So that everybody can see. Okay. Started the Zoom meeting. I'm going to push that over here to the side. All this technology stuff, even though I'm pretty technologically inclined, it's still a little new for me. I'm trying to get. Okay, so let me move myself out of the way here. Okay, so we've talked about the strategies. We've talked about the top two strategies. So carb cycling, you can see here, and it, like I said earlier, teaches you to your body to burn fat. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Intermittent fasting, and it's one of the most effective eating schedules there is, and tracking macros. So that's where you learn how to fuel your body correctly. There is a difference in intermittent fasting the right way and intermittent fasting the wrong way. A lot of people try intermittent fasting on their own, and they basically break their body because they don't eat enough food. So that's why you have to count your macros when you do intermittent fasting. If not, then you're not eating enough food, and typically something's going to break in your body, and typically that is your thyroid. That's your first thing that breaks in your body whenever you're not eating enough. And then your hormones. You can actually shrink your ovaries. Women are very sensitive to not eating enough food, under eating, overtraining, or under eating and stress. Those types of things can really wreak havoc on your body and your hormones. So that's why we track macros in addition to the intermittent fasting, because you have to make sure you get that food in. So like if you join one of my rounds, you'll constantly hear me telling people, you got to eat more, you got to eat more, and you got to eat more. You don't hear that on most diet programs, Weight Watchers or whatever. Keep those points down, keep those points down. I'm telling people all the time, get your protein up, eat more carbs, eat more fats. I mean, I never thought I would say that. And I never thought I would say, gosh, I'm having trouble getting my food in today. So that's the awesome thing about it. So the fourth component that we have is exercise. And we've talked about exercise a little bit. I went over the first few components in detail with these ladies, but I'll back up here in just a minute when I go through the program guide. But like I said, make sure you get on the Zoom meeting that's posted in the news feed of the event. If you don't get that live, I will share a recording of it later. So just remember that though. So with the exercise, you do not have to do the exercise. It's completely optional. All it does is if you exercise, you will see benefits quicker. There is a portal that you will have access to, which will have meal plans, recipes, and all of your exercises there. It'll tell you which day it is, low carb day, regular macro day, or low macro day. And then that's where your exercises will be. You don't have to do those exercises. A lot of people will go through the round and not do the exercises, and then they'll eventually add in their exercises after that. Because some people will do a round and they'll either do a second round or they'll join the membership program. They're kind of revamping the program a little bit, but that's not going to be until like August or September. So, but it's going to essentially be the same. It's going to be, you're going to get like actually one extra week in the program. So, and it's still going to cost the same. So that'll be nice too. Anyway, so with the exercise, we intentionally pair exercising with your eating cycle for the day, and that helps turn your body into a fat-burning machine. So on your low macro days, one of the low macro days we'll do what's called high-intensity interval training. The other macro day we'll do sprints or really fast walking, whichever one you can do. And then on the other days we'll lift some weights and do some body weight training, just like we've talked about a few minutes ago here. So you have access to the portal, like I said, that has your daily workouts there. It has it broke down into week 1, day 1, week 2, day 2, day 3, so it has it broke down. You know exactly where to go whenever you're going there. And then, like I said, it's not a must to join the program, but it's basically a boost to the program. So whenever you are looking into eating a healthy or, living a healthy lifestyle, it's 80 to 90% diet, and the rest is exercise. So what you're eating, you can't out exercise your fork, basically. You can't outwork your fork. So I wished you could. I tried it many times. It didn't work. So what you receive when you do the program is coaching from me for 6 weeks. The actual program is 6 weeks, but you do have the one extra bonus week, which is called prep week. It's before you actually start the program. It's the very week before you start the program. And you do receive coaching and guidance and, you know, through that first week. So basically it's a 7-week program. So it's really good to have accountability. You're in a Facebook group with everyone else that's in that round with you. And it's a really good place for encouragement and accountability. I'll be tracking, like, when everybody's posting, like each day I will post a thread in our Facebook page, and you will post a screenshot of how many macros you ate that day from MyFitnessPal. I will review that, and then I will give you feedback on what you need to do to change, you know, and do a little bit better maybe. And if you did a good job, then I could just give you encouragement. Each day I will also post either like a cheat sheet to help you with the program, or a link to even another website or something like that, or maybe even to Amanda's, the founder's, blog that she has that has some detailed information, just stuff to keep feeding you, and it's stuff that you can use whenever you're even done with the program. That's what I love about this program, is that Facebook page will stay open for you forever. So you can go back to that Facebook page anytime you think, and like, what did she say about this? You can go back to that. So I've even went back to my first the round that I did. I even went back to that a few times when I've been setting my Facebook page up just to see how Lauren does things. So it makes it really beneficial. It's really nice. And then what I want to do is I want to go over the starter kit with you, and I will email. I didn't print copies of the starter kit because they're 59 pages, and I'm going to send everybody a digital copy. That's what I'll do. And it's got all kinds of great information in there. So let me get my notes up here too on the starter guide. There it is. Okay. So first we're going to talk about the benefits of intermittent fasting. Let me get there's my starter kit right here. Okay, so here's the starter kit. See why it's not wanting to, I don't know what it's doing. Let me try this one more time. Try this again. Technical difficulties. It kind of opened it up kind of weird for some reason. Oh, here we go. Operator error instead. Well, I thought I didn't say that. Okay, so this basically tells you that for the basics of intermittent fasting, and I do have a video, it's a 10-minute video that I can show here in just a minute if y'all want to stay and watch it. That she actually speaks about intermittent fasting and doing it the right way, the wrong way, what to do, what not to do, those types of things. So with the starter kit that you will get, like that I'll email to you, it tells you that you learn the basics of intermittent fasting, including why it works, how to get started, and tips for success on intermittent fasting. The starter guide is completely free. You're not obligated to anything whenever you get it. So, and it's got a lot of information in it. So basically with the Faster Way to Fat Loss, it tells you that our target is to transition you into a whole food lifestyle. And, you know, with some treats along the way, but those are planned treats and they're very strategic. So, but you know, like there's been times like my birthday fell on a Thursday. I changed my cheat day to Thursday. And then there may be sometimes that I may even have, depending on, you know, your goals, if you need it, like another cheat day, if you've got multiple things going on with your family, then I can even help with that, you know. So, okay. So as far as intermittent fasting goes, let me get down to this. It tells you basically what intermittent fasting is it's not a type of diet, but it's an eating schedule. So your body is either in two states, either fed or fasted. So in the fed state, that's anytime your body is digesting food, and your body continues to digest food for sometimes up to 12 hours after you eat it. So your body's insulin levels make you burn fat, your body's insulin levels make burning fat a challenge. So in the fasted state, so the 8 to 12 hours after your body finishes digesting food, your insulin levels are lower, so your body is better able to reach into those fat stores and start burning fat. Insulin actually increases fat storage. So insulin's not bad, but it's actually increases fat storage. So that's why we want you to get into that fasted state. So 8 to 12 hours is how long it takes your body to process the food that's in there. And so you've got that 4 to 6 additional hours, or sorry, 4 to 8 additional hours there that your body is in a fasted state and it's burning fat. So that's why we want you to do that. Let's see here. Let me go back to my notes real fast to see. So page 6. Better, buddy. I've got my little green baby Milo here. He's learning. Okay, so here's the benefits of intermittent fasting, and there's research after research after research out there that you can read about intermittent fasting. It tells you it improves your hormone profile, and I feel like that has truly helped my hormones. I was already doing some like functional medicine stuff for my hormones, but I didn't want to have to stay on supplements for the rest of my life because they're expensive, number one, and you shouldn't have to. So I've slacked off on some of those supplements. I'm still doing some key supplements that I'll probably end up doing the rest of my life, vitamin D and that type of thing. But I slacked off on those, and my hot flashes came back. Was truly in my lab showed that I was post-menopausal, and I just turned 45 last week. So that was way too early to be going into menopause, but it showed that I was post-menopausal. So I was doing CrossFit, which CrossFit is amazing, but you have to eat enough. I was not eating enough. I wasn't getting enough rest. Wasn't taking care of my body, and my hormones just went completely crazy. So I basically just stressed my body out too much. So anyway, with intermittent fasting, improves your hormone profile. It increases your life expectancy. It helps with maintenance of skeletal muscle mass, not mass muscle, decreased blood glucose levels, decreased insulin levels, and increased insulin sensitivity. So that's actually a good thing, that insulin sensitivity is. Increases lipolysis, which is the breakdown of fats, and fat oxidation. I can't even talk today. So increase coupling protein with 3 mRNA, which is important for the production of energy inside your cells. So it gives you more energy, and I can tell you that I have felt more energy. I feel better. I sleep better. Yeah, there you go, exactly. Everybody's happy to hear about the increased energy. Increases your norepinephrine and your epinephrine levels, which increases fat breakdown. Those help to increase your fat burning in your body. It increases your glucagon levels, which breaks down fat. That's different than glycogen. And it also increases your human growth hormone levels, which preserves muscles. Men have more growth hormone levels already, so that's why you hear of men that their muscles become defined more quickly. They lose fat a whole lot faster, which also has to do with their testosterone and other things. But it does help increase that human growth hormone levels naturally in your body. So it's not like you're taking a synthetic thing and putting it into your body. This increases them naturally. So you're really doing a good thing for your body. And there has been recent research to show that intermittent fasting actually helps decrease your chances of getting cancer. So because what fasting does, and when you're doing a longer fast, it starts a process in your body that's called autophagy, which causes your body to clean up all of the dead cells and rid them out of your body. So it's basically like taking a massive dose of an antioxidant or something. So if you're doing that on an everyday basis, just think about how what you're doing for your body. So, okay, next thing. Let me go over here. So I've got notes on which page I need to go to. So it tells you how to get started with intermittent fasting. That's going to be on page 8 of your guide, and I'll email if you want the guide. Send me a message or a comment in this video, and I will get a guide sent to you. Like I said, there are countless studies about intermittent fasting out there. But the way that you get started is there's several different protocols. Like I said, we recommend 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating. Grandma Angela's going to kick in here. Thanks, Angela. And then the protocol, like I said, calls for 16 hours of fasting per day and 8 hours of eating. And allows your body to reset itself. The way that you can ease yourself into into intermittent fasting is based, so if you say you started on a Sunday, what you would do is you would skip breakfast. Don't eat anything until lunchtime. So the night before, you're going to want to make sure you drink lots of water, not right before you go to bed because you don't be peeing all night. But, you know, get the day before, make sure you fuel your body and you're drinking enough water and you're hydrated. That's what helps get you through your fast too. So then you be sure to eat a full balanced meal of whole foods. That's how you break your fast. And then go ahead and eat your dinner normally. I usually end up having to eat some snacks in between, even in between lunch and dinner. Actually, a few snacks a lot of times, because that in order to get all of my food in. So you get to eat a lot. Nothing like that. Snacks, I typically do like celery and hummus, celery and peanut butter. I have some bars that I like to eat. They're called Epic bars. And she asked what I normally eat for snacks, but it's actually venison. And you can buy them at the grocery store. It's like a big chunky Slim Jim. It's what it's like if you like Slim Jims. Some people can't stomach them, but that's what I eat. I do protein shakes, and I do a lot of peanut butter, especially on low fat days. I mean, yeah, it's not low fat days, high fat, but low carb days. So on your low carb days, you eat lots and lots of fat. You eat more fat than what MyFitnessPal tells you to eat on your low carb days. So I do rice cakes with peanut butter, fruit, vegetables, you know, and dip in hummus. That's a lot of what my snacks are. And almond butter, yes. Kelsey's reminding me what my snacks are. I like to snack. Everybody will tell you that knows me, I'm a snack machine. So I like to eat. Whole almonds are great, especially on low carb day, but you can have them on regular days too. Yeah. Wasabi. Ooh, wasabi. I've never tried it with wasabi. I'll have to try that. That has wasabi on it. I'll have to try those. I'm always looking for something new. But that sounds good. That sounds good. But and I'll also sometimes do some gluten-free pretzels. Maybe I don't do a lot of gluten-free baked items, but sometimes I will just really, really want something like that. So I'll get that, maybe dip it in hummus or whatever. And I keep a lot of meat cooked ahead of time. And sometimes I'll just grab it out of the refrigerator. I can eat it cold, but most people want to warm it up. But I just grab it and I eat it. And then also I'll do like meat, maybe some broccoli or cauliflower and hummus, or maybe like a little side salad or something like that. Those are kind of what my snacks are. Sometimes I'll eat a meal as a snack because I've got so many macros that I've got to get in. So the first few weeks you will spend your time trying to figure out how to get your body to accept more food. and you eventually do. You eventually do. So yeah. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, what you basically do is you're going to skip breakfast. Breakfast doesn't mean eating breakfast food. It's break fast. That's what you're doing, is breaking your fast. You can eat breakfast food anytime you want to. You can eat it for lunch. You can eat it for dinner. I love breakfast for dinner. So you don't have to pick the 12 to 8 like I was talking about, but that is a good time for me. Some people like to do like 10 to 6 because they go to bed early. Not me. I like to be, I stay up late, so I don't like to go that long without food being awake. So being conscious and not having food doesn't always go well with me. So, and I have done great on the intermittent fasting. I never thought that I would. There's an optional 24-hour fast twice during the program. And that sounds really crazy. But what you do is you stop eating earlier the day before, and then you sleep through a lot of that, and then you start back eating a little earlier the next day. So yes, but that 24-hour, yeah, exactly. So that I used that time when I've done my 24-hour fast. I've used those as a time with spiritual things, just like you do a regular fast. So I just incorporated that into it. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, that the Lord can get you through. That's right, sister. So once you've done what I said on Sunday, don't eat until lunch, maybe around noon, stop eating at 8, and then you start back over and do that the next day. Start at noon the next day, and then eat until 8 the next day. So if you need to, though, a lot of people will start out fasting. Maybe they'll do like a 12-12, eat 12 hours, fast 12 hours. They'll do that for a few days, and then maybe move to a 14-10. I have to do math in my head, like a 14-10. So they'll eat 10 hours out of the day, fast for 14 hours, and then work their way into the 16-8. And some people just have to do that. If you are a diabetic, we do encourage you to see your doctor before you do this. And if you take medicine in the mornings that absolutely has to be taken in the morning, that you can't like take at noon or whatever, and it has to be taken with food, we encourage you to talk to your doctor about it. So I can talk to everybody individually about that. So that's enough about intermittent fasting. Does anybody have any questions about intermittent fasting?
So if you drink like black coffee, that's
good question. Good question. And she asked, if you drink black coffee, is that going to affect your fasting? It does not. You can drink as much black coffee as you want to. You can have up to 45 calories during your fasting window. So that's between, like I do 12 to 8. So between 8 p.m. and 12 p.m. the next day, I can have up to 45 calories. And each day, my 45 calories looks a little different. I have a supplement that I drink in the mornings, and sometimes I want that in the mornings, and I'll drink it, and it's got 45 calories in it.
So
you can put a little creamer.
Like a Premier protein.
Yes.
In your
yeah, if you want to do that. Yeah, is that how you drink yours typically? Yeah, you sure can. Yep, sure can. Absolutely. I even put creamer in mine. I buy the organic creamer. I know it's still dairy. I try to do as much dairy and gluten-free as possible, and we encourage everybody to on the program. You absolutely do not 100% have to. I do encourage you to work that way because it is highly inflammatory. Both of those things are. If you do dairy, raw dairy is not inflammatory because it doesn't have that casein in it. It's not been broke down during the pasteurization. But everything you buy in the grocery store is highly pasteurized, so it has that casein in it, a casein protein, and that's what most people have problems with. So
the organic still has casein.
It does still have it in it, but that's kind of like my little guilty pleasure. Sometimes in the mornings, I will put that in my coffee. So other than that, if you have black coffee and you have to have something sweet in it, buy some stevia leaf extract drops. It should be the liquid, and that will sweeten it. It's very powerful, so you only have to put a drop at a time and stir it around. Drink it first to see if that how it tastes. So you can do chocolate almond milk if you want to do that, but just make sure you just get 45 calories worth. That's the big thing. Just measure those 45 calories out. I've got a little thing at work. I'm a nurse, so of course, I have our measuring cup. So I've got a measuring cup on top of my creamer in the refrigerator so I can measure it out if I decide to do that. So I do typically have my creamer at least once a day, even if whether it's in my fasting time or
so
not.
You're probably not supposed to use any kind of sweeteners, right?
We encourage you not to use sweet and low.
Okay.
We encourage you to do the stevia leaf extract. Good. Otherwise, agave, you just have to track your macros. Just track it in your macros. So it has been shown to have some effect, a little bit more of an effect on your blood sugar, spiking it than what they actually say it does. But as long as you track it in MyFitnessPal and you like it, go for it. So go right ahead. Okay. So during the fast, like I said, you'll consume water, herbal tea, black coffee, BCAAs, or anything that's under 45 calories, and it does not need to have fiber in it. So make sure it doesn't have any fiber in it.
No fiber.
Yes. So during the eating window, you will track your macros in MyFitnessPal. We're actually going to have an app, and probably in maybe September, we will have an app, and everything will be done in the app then. So that will be very nice, even your tracking and everything. So, so we're not restricting calories by intermittent fasting. We're narrowing up our eating window, but we're still eating what our body requires. So this is not calorie restriction. We're eating however many proteins, fats, or carbohydrates that MyFitnessPal tells us to. So Angela's the baby whisperer. She's about to baby sleep, and he's like, it's too funny. So on MyFitnessPal, we have you to do your macro split. We have you to watch macros and not calories. However, just keep a little glance on your calories to make sure you're not going over them, especially on low carb day, because you're eating a lot of fats, and we want you to eat more fats even than what MyFitnessPal tells you, and that can make you go over on your calories. So we want you to eat more than what you're supposed to according to MyFitnessPal, but not go over your calories. Does that make sense? Clear as mud. So the way you split up your macros in MyFitnessPal is you do go 50% carbs, and you'll do this in your goal section, I want to say.
You say 50%
carbs, 30% fats, and 20% protein. Who thought it would be like higher protein than anything? Yeah, that's what I thought too whenever I first. So, you know, I've been a pretty healthy eater for quite some time, but I was not losing fat. I was holding on to fat because I didn't know how much to eat. I just didn't know, you know, what to do. And I actually was not eating enough most of the time. So the focus is on whole foods and not processed options. But if you're, like I said, if you have a special event and you're there and there's one treat that you're really wanting there and it fits in your macros and it's on occasion, do it. I mean, but this is a lifestyle change. It's not about deprivation. So we do encourage you to work out while you're fasting. That was one thing I never knew for sure about intermittent fasting. But it is okay, and it's actually encouraged to work out while you're fasting. You don't have to. So, like if you're planning your workout and you want to go in the morning, but you don't make it, still get it in the evening. Don't think because I didn't go in the morning, it's not going to be beneficial. It's still going to be very beneficial. But it's really, really beneficial on your low macro day because it really just gets rid of those glycogen stores even faster. So, have a plan. Plan for what you're going to eat during your eating window. The good thing about the newer portion of the program is that we actually supply a meal plan now. You will have a meal plan that has recipes. It tells you if there's anything that needs recipes. It'll tell you exactly what to eat if you want to follow that meal plan. You do not have to. You can pick and choose if you want to. But it's really nice sometimes to kind of have like a little plan laid out in front of you. So, and then I encourage everybody to, and I do this sometimes and sometimes I don't, but it's a good idea to put your information in MyFitnessPal the night before if you know what you're going to eat. And if I do that, I do a whole lot better. So I'm about 50-50 on that sometimes. So, but like I said, this is a 6-week online boot camp. So you'll see me like in your Facebook page going live, doing Q&A sessions and that type of thing. So. My phone just died. Okay, get that and plug it up. If you don't care, we'll go back live again here in just a minute. So, okay. So we've taught, anybody got any questions so far? You think of, okay, you can see here, I'm not going to go through all of this. It's actually kind of lame. Oh, my phone just died and it's not hooked up to the computer. Okay. Well,